In honor of my video about Bhip being the most viewed on my channel, let us all gather around virtually and shit on them once more. The funniest thing happened. So after publishing my Bhip video, I think it was around April, I got a bunch of messages from people from Thailand, from UK, from different parts of Europe, who were all coming to me with similar stories about being scammed by this company, or they were actually thanking me because they stated that they were listening to the webinars, going to meetings, and then they actually found my video and decided to quit. And I'm very proud of that. And now another funny thing that happened was that Croatia actually investigated Bhip. So there was a guy who came forward who actually got into the business and he realized he was scammed, and he decided to share his story publicly to prevent other people from getting scammed by this company. And the journalist actually took the product to the lab. They talked to a lawyer about the tactics that this company used. They interviewed the guy and he told a story that was very similar to other stories about Bhip. And the conclusion of their investigation was, and I'm putting this in my words, that Bhip is trash. These people are garbage and they do not deserve to be in business. And now I was thinking, like, I already have a video about Bhip, and this report that the journalist did is in Croatian, so it can only be understood and it can only help the people who speak or understand Croatian. Now, what would happen if I actually took the information from that report that the journalist did and told the whole story in English on my YouTube channel? Might that help other people who are maybe potential victims of this company? I think it might, so let's just dive in. The story begins with Carlo. He was the guy who came forward with his whole experience with Bhip and actually like working for them, because he did start working for them. So let's say he has more insight than I have because I never got into that business. He came to the journalist and he gave an interview about what it was like. So his story begins as the story of other people began. Somebody he did or did not know contacted him through social media and tried to sell the products to him and actually got him to listen to the webinars. It was the same pitch, like, hi, I don't know if we know each other, but like I saw your page, I think you would be great to sell this, blah, 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 blah. Disgusting. So anyways, he listened to the webinars, and I would actually like to touch up on the webinars right now because he gave more of an insight on what happens in these webinars. I've never been on the webinars. I was in a face-to-face meeting because like it was years back before the pandemonium and everything. He stated that up until the third webinar, nobody actually explained what the business was, what you're actually supposed to do. Like, what is it that this great job opportunity represents? What are they looking for in future candidates for this job? Like, it's scammy. Let's be honest, if you've ever been on a job interview, first of all, would you apply for a job that you do not know the job description of? And would you come to a second round of interviews if on the first round of interviews the company was vague about what you're supposed to do, did not disclose what they were looking for, did not talk about paychecks, did not talk about hours, didn't talk about anything? Like, they were just talking to you about a luxury lifestyle that you can have if you start working for their company. Anybody who's ever been on a job interview knows that they're awkward as hell, and they would be even more awkward if you actually did not know what the fuck was going on. So on the third webinar, you actually find out what it is that you're going to do, that you're going to be selling nutritional supplements and makeup, and also that there is an initial investment of a small little sum of 1,800 euros. 1,800 euros. 1,800 euros. That's about, for our American viewers, about $2,000. Like, that's not the sum of money that an average Joe has lying around the house. Let's be honest, nobody has that amount of money just here to be spent. Carlo did pay. he paid to get into the business, and in exchange he got the products. I don't think that I actually need to say this, but I think we can all agree that the products probably do not have the market value of 1800 euros. Like, there's no chance in hell. Another thing that he was told is that for each person he signs up, he was going to get a bonus of 100 euros. So much about it not being a pyramid scheme. Like, that's a pyramid scheme. You are being incentivized to actually recruit people. It's a pyramid scheme, allegedly. And of course you're supposed to sell the products. You're also given a pitch that you're supposed to tell people, like you're supposed to tell them that you use the products, that you feel amazing, this and that. And Carlo was actually very honest about saying that he does not use the products, that he never tried them, and that he has no idea what's in them, and that he actually never sold anything. So as I said, you hear about all of this on the third webinar, and on the first two you are being brainwashed. I talked about this in my first video about Bhip. The brainwashing game is strong, and honestly, a lot of people are like, it's your fault if you get caught up in this. But I think we need to take into perspective the times that we are living in right now, where people are losing their jobs. We live in a lot of uncertainty, people are struggling financially, and people are vulnerable to these tactics. Like, it's easy to get people to sign up for these types of companies, MLMs, pyramid schemes and all of that, because people are desperate. Like, some people are just desperate to make any type of income, and that's how you actually fall for this. And it's sad, but it's true. I don't think that a lot of people can state that ever since 2020 hit, that they have not thought about their financial situation, that they were not like scared about what's going to happen to their job. Like, we've all been through this fear, and these companies are exploiting that. So the brainwashing includes the standard pitch: you're going to be wealthy, you're going to be your own boss, you're going to have flexible hours, you're going to have a lot of money, you're going to buy yourself a Lambo, expensive food, expensive drinks, some exclusive parties that they have that are absolute shit, let's be honest, and all of that. But there is also another thing that's being, let's say, told to potential future co-workers. What are they even called? Victims. They're not workers, they are victims. One of the things that they tell them is like, we are your family, like we all stick together, we are all one big happy family. Like, even when you apply for a 9-to-5 job and somebody is like, we are a happy family here, that's a red flag on a normal job that you get paid to do. Anybody who's been on a job interview knows what I'm talking about. So they are trying to sell this image of them being a happy family, and their target audience are students, like young people. And one of the things that they tell them is like, oh, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to tell you that you can't do this, especially your parents, but don't listen to them. So they are targeting students and young people who are most likely still being financed by their parents, their grandparents, their legal guardians, whoever. And this company is telling them, don't listen to their advice. They're also telling them to get into credit card debt, to get loans, to borrow money from other people in order to be able to actually come up with 1800 euros. And let's just put this in a very hypothetical situation. Like, if you were to come and work for a company, and that company, first of all, tells you not to listen to your parents, does not disclose the job opportunity, they ask you for a large sum of money, and then they tell you, please don't listen to the authority figures in your life that only want the best for you. No matter what your relationship with your parents is, no matter who they are and what they do, whenever somebody is trying to isolate you away from people who are closest to you, that's a red flag. This company has more red flags than all of my ex-boyfriends combined. And also, I would just like to point out that this whole "we're big happy family, give us money" sounds like a cult. This sounds like a cult. Want to hear the best part? So next to the initial investment of those little small 1800 euros that you give them, you're also required to pay 100 euros to buy products each month. So you come in, you give them 1800 euros, and then every month you're supposed to give them more money Nothing illegal about that. Now let's get into the products. So I'm going to start with skincare, like that's close to my heart. I am ashamed to admit this, but back when my acquaintance was trying to drag me into this, he actually gave me some of the company's products. So I tried the Indigo energy drink and I tried some of that skincare. I specifically remember a face oil that he gave me, and comparing it to the oil booster that I use now. So I'm just going to like compare the two products. So the oil booster I use now, that's from an actual recognized brand. When I put it on my skin, it actually sinks in. When I was trying this Mol&B cosmetics, I think it's called, it's irrelevant. When I tried that oil, face oil, whatever it was, it stays on top of your skin. It adds a new layer to your skin and it's greasy and it's disgusting, and that it does not sink into your skin as it should. So just off the bat, from my own, let's say, customer review, I can say that that product is shit and don't put it on your skin. Carlo actually disclosed that he was supposed to sell like the Mol&B cosmetics, I think that like their face cream or something, for 100 euros. That is a lot of fucking money for a single product from a skincare line that's very shady, and we'll get into that a bit later. So just to compare like the prices, if you're into skincare, and even if you're not, you might have heard of Crème de la Mer. Like, it is one of the most famous skincare products ever, I think. And for a 2-ounce packaging, so that's about 30 milliliters, you have to pay $190, and this is like recognized worldwide. It was made famous, I think, by Paris Hilton, to be honest. She like swears by it. She states that she's been using it ever since she was a kid. And it is expensive, but like that's something where you give your money and you know that you're getting something in return. And these people are trying to peddle products for 100 euros that cannot state the same. Because, and this is what the lab expert actually confirmed, the products are not special. Like, there is nothing special in the ingredient list. They are not harmful, but they are not that special. Like, the price does not match the ingredient list. And also, they're actually not registered in Croatia. They should not be sold in Croatia. That's no surprise to anybody who has ever been in contact with this company. They do not have a Croatian label. So that means that you have a whole label about the product that's written in Croatian, so in our language. And that, I think, is a law in every single country. Like, if you're trying to sell something, a consumer should actually be able to find out everything about that product, including the ingredient list, in their own language. That's common sense also. Not only a law, that's common sense. I mean, nobody's surprised. I remember that back when actually my acquaintance gave me all of it, I also noticed the lack of Croatian labels. Like, you're used to seeing something in your own language in a product that you're buying. Okay, he gave me the products, I was not buying them, but you know what I mean. Now let's get to the nutritional shakes. I believe that's like their main selling point. They are very proud of their all natural ingredient products. But let's actually talk about those natural ingredients. So the items that were taken to the lab to be tested were Boost, I think those are some pills, Fusion dietary drink, and Indigo. Again, I am ashamed to admit that I did try Indigo, and again, just a customer review, ex-customer, dissatisfied customer. You're supposed to put it in water, stir it, and drink it. It doesn't dissolve. Like, I always expect when I'm like drinking multivitamins or something that it dissolves in water so you can actually drink it. This shit doesn't dissolve completely. You're constantly having these chunks all up in the water. I cannot believe that I actually drank it. So, what did the lab experts say? First of all, the ingredient lists are faulty. The problem is that they do claim that their ingredients are all natural, but the problem is that they need to specify which part of the natural ingredient, a plant, they're actually using, because using a leaf of a plant and using a fruit of a plant is not the same fucking thing. And I would like to stay on this topic for a while because ingredient lists are very personal to me. Very, very personal, because I am a person that suffers from allergies and from food intolerances. I cannot even explain how harmful and dangerous it is to sell something that has a faulty ingredient list. Just to explain like how things go for me. So when I'm buying something that's processed, so that it's not, you know, fruit or vegetables, let's say I'm going to buy ketchup. So I'm going to buy ketchup and I need to literally read the label of each ketchup bottle that I'm considering buying to see the ingredient list. And for example, if it has gluten, I cannot buy it. If it has cornstarch, I cannot buy it. So I rely heavily on reading the ingredients list. And I know that people make fun of gluten-free, dairy-free people, but honestly, there are people who struggle and who are not gluten-free and dairy-free because it's popular. Trust me, I would love to eat ice cream and not die of pain afterwards. So ingredient lists are important to people and there are people who rely on them. So this is very dangerous, and honestly it's terrifying for somebody like me, because let's be honest, food intolerances, they are dangerous, but allergies can put you in a hospital. So consuming something that triggers your allergies can put you in a hospital, and these people are selling these products without thinking about this. Let's be quite clear on this. Like, if you are a Bhip distributor and you are selling products that you do not know the ingredient list of, or worse, you know that the ingredient list is faulty, you, my friend, are shit. And I honestly hope that there is a law in this fucking country that can hold you accountable for putting people in harm's way. And don't even hit me with the, if people are buying something, it's their responsibility. No, it's a direct violation of consumer rights to have products with shady labels. That's it. End of story. Now let's go further. One of the things that the lab expert actually noted about indigo and that dietary supplement fusion is the fact that they are missing an ingredient, and that's stevia. Both of those drinks have added sugars that are not clearly disclosed on the label. Not only on the label, but as she explained, according to the law and the regulation in Croatia, you're supposed to have that on the box next to the title. Like, it needs to be visible immediately to somebody as soon as they see a product. If it has added sugars, it needs to be stated on the product in the ingredient list and physically somewhere on the product on a visible place. So yeah, that's missing. Another thing that they conveniently do not do is actually put warning labels on their products. So there are certain ingredients, natural ingredients such as spirulina, that are actually supposed to come with a warning label. Those warning labels usually serve to tell people, hey, before you drink this or try this or buy this, please consult your doctor. This company is trash. So the lab expert did confirm that the products were not harmful, but she also stated that due to the massive faults in the ingredients list, these products should not be sold and are not safe for consumption. Clear as day, nobody's shocked. But there is one other thing that these products lack. So they are priced up from 60 to 70 euros, and you can get products that are of better quality and that are cheaper off the shelf. And one other thing that these products off the shelf have that Bhip doesn't is the actual stamp of approval from the Ministry of Health in Croatia. So these products are not vetted by our Ministry of Health. Like, we can even discard the whole ingredient list debacle. You do not have the approval of our body of government to actually sell these products in our country. Oh my god, these shady products that are being sold under the table are not actually approved by our Ministry of Health. I am so shocked. The journalist also video called that clown Antonio Lekic, who is considered to be the main guy for Bhip here in Croatia and in our neighbor countries, and also a few people who contacted me from the UK specifically mentioned him, and I think his sister or somebody, I think they said that it was his sister who actually scammed them. They named them. Lekic showed the same amount of intelligence in this video call that he showed in an interview where he stated to not knowing anything about the Croatian tax system while claiming to be a businessman. When the journalist actually confronted him about the products not having the approval of our Ministry of Health, he brushed it off and defended the products by saying that they are approved by EFCA. That is a real thing. I mean, not the approval. Like, it came out of his mouth, I don't believe him. And the journalist did not confirm or deny that EFCA actually approved these products as safe for consumption. So EFCA is the European Food Safety Authority, like they are a real thing. But let's explain something to this clown because he obviously does not understand it. The European Union is an economic and political union of different countries in Europe. All of those countries within their own borders have their own laws, regulations and bodies of government. So something being approved by EFCA means jack shit if it was not approved by our Ministry of Health that's actually in charge of our fucking country. You cannot claim that something was just approved by EFCA for consumption in the European Union and then just go around every single European Union country and sell it. Like, it doesn't work that way. European Union is not a country. There's also one interesting fact about Bhip, like they're operating in Croatia, like they are trying to work here and everything, and they're not registered as a company. About the questions he actually did not have an answer for, he stated that he's not on the corporate side of things, so that's supposed to be managed by the owners of the company and people who are above him. So the journalist did reach out to those people who, and I quote, had no idea that they were in direct violation of Croatian laws. And nobody is surprised. I think that the general tone of this video is I did not tell you anything that you did not suspect before hearing it. This company is shit. I stand behind my first video, I stand behind this video, I stand behind the phrase that Bhip is trash, and I will not back down. I am very glad to have shared this, and I need to thank the actual journalist who did the investigation. I honestly hope that this video will be helpful to some of you as the first one was. It was really nice to hear some people who contacted me and stating that they actually did not get caught up with Bhip because they saw my first video, so I'm glad and thank you for reaching out. I will end my video here because honestly I'm hungry and I do have better things to do than shit on Bhip. I think shitting on Bhip is still important, but there are things that are more important than this. If you want to see the original article and the video about Bhip made by the journalist, you can check it out down in the link in the description. Again, I emphasize it's in Croatian, so if you understand or speak Croatian, you can take a look at it. Also, my blog and my Instagram will be down in the description. You can support my channel by subscribing, liking this video, sharing, commenting. Let me know if you've had any experience with this company or if anybody who you know had experience with this company. Honestly, don't get caught up in this. Don't let your friends and family and college peers get caught up in this bullshit. Like, spread awareness about the predatory behavior of this company. Thank you all for watching and I'll see you in my next one.